Earlier this week, Twitch gave streamers access to analytics that would give them the reasoning as to why people were unsubscribing to the channel. Now, before I clicked on this tweet, I had a good general idea of what the comments were going to read like in my head. Something kind of like this. However, what I actually got was, so let us digest and discuss. First, let's get a couple things straight. The feature of Twitch asking for reasoning when you're unsubscribing to a channel is nothing new. It's been around. It is optional, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. You click other, leave it blank, and hit submit. It is 100% anonymous to the streamer, and you don't have to look at it. Next, Twitch has such a long way to go as far as protecting creators on this platform. Hate raids are still a thing. Harassment is running rampant. We know it's still a huge problem. Second most important, Twitch is not a single room of developers that all work on one project at the same time. They don't just put things in chronological order and say, okay, we're working on this today. Then we're working. Different teams work on different things. And lastly, but certainly more important, I might be a little snooty in this video.
Snooty?
There's a tiny bit of emotion that might rear its pretty head. But I'm going to do my best to be understanding and empathetic and objective. Maybe. It's Sunday and I'm bloated. All right, now before we get started, let's look at the reasons that you can select when you are unsubscribing from somebody. All right, we found one. We're unsubscribing from Mr. 42. Sorry, buddy, I love you. I only wanted to subscribe for 1 month. I had a bad interaction with the streamer. Financial reasons. I prefer to manually renew my subscriptions. Subscriptions with a capital S for some reason. My schedule changed and I can't keep up with the stream anymore. The streamer schedule changed, or they're not streaming as much anymore. I need to change my payment method. There. Also, I give Twitch props for making the don't renew red and then the stay subscribed purple. Thank you. Disclaimer, I'm going to be blocking usernames and avatars from these replies because I don't trust any of you to not go to this Twitter thread and start harassing people, except for my community. You guys are awesome. They're just having differing, wrong opinions, and it's not a reason to go after them, so leave it. In going through these responses, it's very clear that many of these people have never launched like a product or a service of their own, and it's understandable why they don't see the value in this feedback. All right, let's take a couple lookies at why people are angry. First of all, 200 IQ right out of the gate. The usernames are anonymous. The questionnaire for cancellation reason is optional. This comment section is actually blowing my mind. Yeah. Who requested this shit? Sure AF wasn't me. I don't need to know a reason why people don't or can't give money. Life gets complicated at times. I would like to know why Twitch takes 50% of that money to pay people to come up with 500 IQ features like this. Let's move on. Why would I ever want to see this? And actually another logical response here. Well, let's say you had a large number of subs and it declined rapidly. You look at this graph and see 60% of them said it was due to a schedule conflict. You would want to see that, right? I think so. So let's start diving into the negatives of why people think that this is a bad idea. One of the most unique aspects of live streaming is getting that real-time feedback from your community while you're live. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That is the nature of the business. You are in the creative entertainment industry. Your work is going to be criticized no matter what. And I think that this person who replied brought up a great point. Everybody, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to ask yourself this question quietly. How many times have you been on Twitter and you've seen a streamer say this? I don't know why, but my viewership and my sub count has just been tanking. I haven't been doing anything different. I've been consistent with my schedule, but my numbers are just going down. I have no reason why, and I'm struggling. What am I doing wrong? Now, don't you think if you had a little bit of access to analytics like this, you might be able to put a little bit of reasoning behind that question? You might be able to tie recent events or recent changes to why the numbers are going down. Data like this gives you the opportunity to make huge changes to your content and then be able to see how it resonates with the community that you're currently servicing. Are you ever going to get a 100% accurate reason? No, but it's better than being blind. That was the loudest fence in the history of fences. Did you know that it's common practice for YouTubers to change thumbnails or titles after the video has already been released? They look at their average analytics for their size, and then they say, oh, this video isn't really performing as well. And they will change aspects of the content after it's already been released because there's actually chances that you can make those changes and then have that video take off. Really makes you wonder what types of hacks like those Twitch streamers could arm themselves with to help growth and help discoverability. Sometimes you have to change what you're doing a little bit to fit the mold. If you're creating content on YouTube, you know that the data and the analytics that YouTube gives you as a creator is decades above and beyond what Twitch gives you. YouTube creators use those stats to tailor their content a little bit to a more targeted market. It's not about learning if somebody doesn't like you or thinks you're overweight or thinks you talk funny. It's about getting access to the data that allows you to shift certain things to tailor to a larger audience and gain an advantage. The replies to this are baffling to me. Many people, including myself, have been asking for this feature for years. The data is all anonymous. No one who unsubs is required to select a reason, and the data is great for streamers. Not everything Twitch does is bad. For people asking who asked for this, me. I've asked for this for years. People speak with their wallets, not their words. I want to know generally if something went wrong so I know that was not welcomed. I can't grow as a person or an entertainer if I don't know what's wrong. Now, take this video with an entire grain. Now, take this entire video with a grain of salt. As somebody who has not looked at their Twitch analytics in a really long time, I have no idea what my average viewership is. I don't know what my peak viewership is. I accidentally saw my sub count the other day. I never look at any of it. Twitch is not my job. It's not my career. It doesn't pay my bills. People who are paying bills have to pay attention to this stuff. And if you want to grow as a creator, you should probably think about paying attention as well. Back to the video. What genius in HQ thought this was a great idea? I doubt streamers care on why subscribers decide to unsub. At least I don't care. There's a problem right there. Maybe money is tight. Maybe they wanted to give their money or prime elsewhere. Who am I to snoop around and find out why they did it? Remove this feature. It's enough as is that you guys rob half of the payment for subs. There we go again with that. Especially for us small streamers. For you geniuses to go about making this unsmart feature. Is unsmart a word? It's a word. For you geniuses to go about making this unsmart feature that no one asked for and shove it in our faces is absolutely absurd. Think of us streamers and not yourselves for once. So this particular user kind of came out and proved my point. A lot of these streamers and viewers are really looking at this through an anecdotal lens. If you stream, you're running a business. I want to know why someone stopped being a customer. Well, I don't care, so why should anybody care? Businesses want data. If you've set out to stream, you're running a business with your viewership being your customers. Knowing why somebody stopped being a customer is a valuable source of information. I've disapproved other feature decisions Twitch has chosen to do, but this is a good move. Businesses know that Yelp ran the world for a little while there because they knew, before the Karens took over, that the display of a good review average would make all the difference in the world because everybody was glued to the internet and figuring out what other people liked and didn't like. Think about it this way. Let's say you're at your job. You're doing really, really well. You've been there for like 3 or 4 years. And then all of a sudden you get fired and you go, what the why am I fired? And they go, you're fired. Aren't you curious to know why? Don't you want to know the reasoning why? Because you thought you were doing so good for so long because there was no feedback whatsoever, no annual reviews, and all of a sudden you're fired? You tell me you wouldn't want to know why? Because it's your job. It's your bread and honey. It's what pays the bills. It's important. This is the same thing for other streamers. If you've ever had a series of annual reviews where there's no constructive criticism ever and you're told you do everything great all the time and you're like, there's got to be something that I can do better. And that's the mindset that will give you that edge. I don't know why you were ever collecting this data if it wasn't going to be for streamers. Lump in the financial reason with the people who don't put other and wrote a message and don't show the messages. Then lump the payment method change and manual review. This person lost me. The first part is the important part. I don't know why you were ever collecting this data if it wasn't going to be for streamers. If you know anything about big tech, you know that they want to collect everything possible about you. Why you look at it, when you look at it, what you're looking at. Like I mentioned before, this feature has been a part of the unsubscribing process for years? Couple years now? I can't even remember when it wasn't there.
Now how could they put this feature in there if we can't see it right away?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the developers just like needed live data to play with so they could design how the graphs would look for streamers, what analytics they would show and what they wouldn't. Oh, so developers don't need time to do any of that stuff. They should just flip the switch and be done. But it couldn't be that. That would make too much sense. Yes, let's make streamers who are already self-conscious about their work even more self-conscious as they get to read the exact reason why their content isn't good enough for some people. Brilliant idea. In case it wasn't clear, I'm 100% joking, and this is absolutely a dumb idea. He was joking. No thanks, I value my mental well-being. Now, out of all the responses, this is the one that I resonate with the most. I understand what this kind of data can do to a creator's brain. It could hurt you. It could completely derail your focus. It can tear you apart. Now, I'm conjuring up all of my empathetic thoughts to say this. That is not Twitch's problem to solve. And that's harsh. And maybe that's the wrong take, but I stand by it. If you're somebody who gets their feelings hurt because of constructive criticism or because of feedback that's not great, you got to get better at that. If you are unable to take constructive criticism and turn it into something beneficial, you might be in the wrong spot. I'm willing to have my mind changed on that. Nothing great ever comes out of somebody saying good job all of the time. And if you've seen the movie Whiplash, you know what I'm talking about. You want to be Charlie Parker, or do you want to be Clifford, the big red bitch? Everybody loves Clifford. I'm game for some constructive criticism. This is neat. I agree. This is neat. In my Twitch channel, at the end of every single stream, there is a command that runs when I press my goodbye button on my stream deck. There's a bunch of things, but in the middle, there is a link to a Google form that is an anonymous feedback form. At the end of every stream, I encourage anybody who's in there to go to that form and fill it out. It is 100% anonymous, and it gives me feedback for my channel and my content. I'm going to read you what those questions are. You can probably kind of see it, but this is all feedback that I've gotten from people over the years. Here's some of the questions. How did you find the channel? How long have you been watching the channel? What do you like about the show? What don't you like about the show? What do you think Naaackers could do better? What do you think Naaackers does well? Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Please do. So not only am I getting answers about like where they came from, how they found the channel, how long that they've been around, and you can make those answers required so that they can't leave it out. I'm getting feedback on the things about my content that might not be so great. And I'm not talking about stuff like you're too loud, you're too much, you talk too much, you don't play games enough. I mean, things like, hey, when you're doing a podcast, all of your flashing lights when you get notifications is super distracting. When you get into certain epic parts of video games, your game audio way overpowers everything else. Your audio levels are crazy inconsistent, and I'm constantly having to adjust just to watch. Your 30-minute sessions of you being away and just your chair makes me want to leave. And then maybe you get the same type of feedback from multiple people, and it makes you think, oh, well, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. And you know what you can do with that information? Take it to your close group of peers and say, hey, I've been getting a lot of feedback about this. What do you think? Your friends are going to be honest with you. And then if a couple of your friends say, yeah, it's something that possibly could be changed, there you go. And to kind of wrap this up, the mindset of I want to stream whatever I want. I want to stream what I want. I want the expectation that people would subscribe. And I don't ever want to know why people don't want to subscribe to me. I'm going to do whatever I want all the time. And that to me in this industry is incredibly toxic mindset to have. I didn't grab a screenshot of this one, but I saw it a lot. This could be used to troll. What part of Twitch can't be used to troll? Every time a new feature like this is released, this is one of the most common responses I see. And I get it. Well, that's the internet. People troll us. That's really all I can say about that. However, I'll leave you with this. Now close your eyes again with me for a second, and I want you to think of a time when you had to pay money to leave a review somewhere. Wait. It doesn't exist. Look, I get it. Somebody could sub to you, and then they could cancel the sub, and then they could write something naughty in the responses, and it hurts your feelings. First of all, you can't ever see what was typed in the box anyways. But maybe they say, I didn't have a good experience. It cost them $5 and 5 minutes. Do you want to know what almost every single troll has in common? They find the path of least resistance. Why couldn't they just post that in your chat and then leave? What's going to make them go, oh, now I have to spend money to troll people? I don't really see it that way. Every aspect of Twitch can be used against you. Every aspect of social media can be used against you. It doesn't make this bad. All right, this one made me laugh. Wouldn't it be better to collate the statistics on it as a graph or a chart for us, rather than individualize each person's reasons and potentially cause friction between people unnecessarily? As both a content creator and a viewer, I certainly don't want individual reasons. They literally show it as a graph. It isn't my business to know why someone didn't resub to my channel, and this only pressures the viewer to remain subbed if they can't financially. Literally no one asked for this. LMAO! Pressure. This one also made me laugh a little bit. We don't want our viewers feeling pressured. The culture of Twitch is that your viewers support you directly monetarily. Everything about Twitch and live streaming is all about pressure and call to actions. You want emotes? Pay me. Want me to play that game? Pay me. Want me to play games with you? Pay me. Want to watch a movie with me in Discord? Pay me. Hit that goal, follower goal, bit goal, subathons, bots in chat reminding you to sub, bots in chat reminding you to drink water, Twitch Prime, Code Gaming! Sub goals and sub counts on the screen at all times. Every scene, every source, goals. Call to action. And look, of course, I know some of you are going to say, well, that's not how I run my stream. I get it. And that's not how I run my stream either. But let me ask you this. Do you have a PayPal link in your Twitch panels? It's okay. You don't have to answer that because I know you do. So don't talk to me about pressure. It's already painted all over your face. There were a lot of other tweets, but I really didn't want this video becoming 30 minutes long. Let me know what you think. I actually want your feedback. Be mean. Tell me you disagree with me. I'm here sharing my thoughts and my perspective because I am open to having my mind changed. I know that there's no way that I can possibly be 100% correct all the time, but the act of you putting yourself out there for a chance to be corrected and for a chance to learn something, that is what is going to set you apart. Get yourself out of that little bubble and it'll set yourself up for success in the future. All right, kids, that's all I got for you today. Thank you so much for coming through and giving this video a chance. I hope you all have an amazing holiday. Stream safe, stream smart, and remember that aim assist on controllers is aimbot.